What's going on, everybody? My name is Anthony Sabatino. I'm the CEO and founder of ASPF Solutions, and the biggest thing I want you guys to realize today is that business is simple, people are complicated, and we tend to overlook that. The way we don't is through what I call the financial circle. Things that are including sales, your finances, your emotional intelligence, and your branding, all together in totality creates massive success in your business.
Hey Anthony, thanks for the call.
Of course, Daniel. How you been?
I'm good. Just working. I have a couple of questions, or one major question. I kind of want some kind of a recommendation on how I can get Facebook message leads or text message leads and get them on an actual phone call. What would be your recommendation for creating that kind of conversion?
Yeah, that's a great question. And just so you know, don't put that on a pedestal, right? That's not a unique problem. A lot of people struggle a lot with this in business because people get leads, but they have no idea how to get them to a conversion, right? And conversions really becomes the name of the game here. So when we think about getting a lead through, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, LinkedIn, really any messaging social media platform, our only purpose is to get them on the phone, because the whole entire rarity behind getting somebody to convert over DM or over messaging is so rare. So we think about why that's not actually purposeful, because they're not feeling your trust, they're not feeling your credibility on the phone. So what we want to do is get them on the phone in the first place. So the way we're going to want to do that is ask very succinct questions to make them realize that they're at a spot that they can't handle to fix themselves, right? So we do that very succinctly because we know that our only step is to get them on the phone. So we're not trying to close the deal, right? We're not trying to close the deal at all. We're trying to get them on the phone. And once we're on the phone, now we've created a process that allows us to close the deal on that forefront and not put all our focus on the DM. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Email an example of my conversations, and when you're free, take a look at that.
Yeah, I would love to. I do that with all of my clients. The biggest thing I want you to know is I'm the accountability figure here, so I want to actually look at what you're doing. That way we can actually fill the holes that are currently there and start creating way more solutions and start cutting out all of those problems. So that would mean the world to me if you could send me over your work and your messages right now. Just screenshots would be great, and that way I can really look through what you're doing and we can make the proper adjustments at that front.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome, Daniel. So I will talk to you next week, and I'm really excited to start seeing the progress you're making, and I can already see the results coming.
Thank you so much, Anthony.
No problem, Daniel. I'll talk to you then. Bye.
All right, bye.
We're here in this van, and it's so amazing, and we're here in New York City. There's usually coupled with traffic, beeping horns, people are yelling, and we literally haven't had a single problem. We've been gliding through the entire city, going from location to location. It's just so crazy. What makes me think is, investing into yourself and going that extra mile to get these little things pay way more of a dividend than most think, and that to me drives me crazy when I hear people are too scarce, because this is obviously an extra mile adventure, but the reality is this pays dividends in ways that I can't even think today, but it will pay in a year, 3 years, 10 years from now. And that, I think, is the mindset shift, especially business owners, entrepreneurs. This is the type of perspective I think people need to have and really sink into and really lean into to understand the value of it. Get the long term tomorrow, and in reality we can't, right? Because we're not actually doing it the right way at that point. We're not being empathetic to what we want. We're just grasping for straws, and we're hoping. And one of the things that I've really found most successful is that hope is not a strategy. And once we understand that hope's not exactly a strategy, we give ourselves a lot more of a tactical enterprise, because we say to ourselves, we can do more. And once we allot ourselves, we give ourselves that permission, it just starts flowing in, man. I can't kind of re-emulate that any better to you than understanding that hope isn't a strategy, and we can get there. And I'm gonna hang up the phone right now, but I gotta go. I gotta call in 5 minutes, so I'm gonna go back to the office. So I will talk to you next week. Sound good? Cool. Yeah, that's what I want to start doing that more too. Going forward is working with people in the city and doing one-on-ones in person. Business really is a game of relationships, and the entire process of building a good relationship with yourself, you know what I mean? The more that people kind of receive that vibe from you, that energy from you, the more they're going to reciprocate it. And that's the entire game of business, is, realizing that, especially in sales, but every aspect of business, you can literally influence somebody at a higher level if you understand yourself better, I think even just in general, the more you understand your actions and why you do what you do, your game levels up, you know what I mean? I think that just really becomes, at a macro level, that just really is what business is. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just what I think. Business
particularly too, you think about, you know, how much money you can make. People are always going to like people and to do business. You know, they're going to like to do business with people that they like, and that's only one step. But the level is, if you can get someone to truly trust you, like not just like the next level of truly trust, you start to really think, okay, like if I can allow this person to trust me, I can actually help him serve his life at a higher level. Do you know what I mean? I think that's a really, really good skill to have, because the more you understand you, the more you can understand how you can affect others. It's just a really, really fun game to play. I think even, you know, the biggest thing too that I think is when we think about making money, right? Emotional intelligence is such a big part of that, right? We think about what we can do, like yes, we make money, but how do we maximize that money? You know, you think of all these different people who make millions and billions of dollars a year. Some of them, you know, retire and they have no money, or they blow it all and they have nothing to show for it, right? And that's really where like that finance portion of things really come into play. We think, how can we maximize every dollar that we're making and then optimize our ability to do so? You know, personal finance is such an interesting topic because it's such a different process for people who are an entrepreneur or a business owner than people who are working a 9 to 5. It's a completely different ballgame, right? So like to me, budgeting for growth as opposed to frugality is a humongous topic, and things that just become so common, right? And all these different things that we're doing as entrepreneurs, we think to ourselves, we have to constantly grow, right? So the word budgeting has this weird, you know, just aura around it that you have to be frugal, you have to not spend money, you have to cut expenses, which yes, in certain cases you have to have, you know, self-awareness of what you're doing. But as an entrepreneurial, you know, perspective, you want to be budgeting for growth. You want to be setting yourself up for growth financially. That way you're maximizing every dollar, because, you know, your dollars can go away really, really fast if you don't understand how to maximize them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, invest it in the right spot.
Yeah, and that's even that's just one portion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just tracking the right way that allows for growth, as opposed to tracking that allows for cutting. Do you know what I mean?
So
it's a really interesting game. Most people have it backwards.
Contraction, yeah.
Yeah, it's more scarcity versus, you know, abundance, right?
Yeah.
That mindset is such an important topic, and actually putting that into action financially is that's the game. So, you know, the life that I'm living right now is so interesting. The massive amount of progression in just 6 months that I've had, building over a 6-figure business, that has just been so insane to think. And I constantly ask myself, why has that been the case? Why has this 6-month period been so interesting and so progressive based, so that I've brought in all these results, made all these connections, and the money seemed to have followed? The biggest thing that I've seemed to realize is that I was uber self-aware of what my strengths were and what I could double down on. And then I think to myself, well, how did I know those strengths? You know, that self-awareness had to come from somewhere. And normally it comes from people's pasts. And when I think back to what I came from, and, you know, just the progression of just years ago, where I really was and where I tried to figure out where I wanted to go, I realized I was in a place where I felt stuck, and I was trying to go to law school for, you know, just generational reasons that people wanted me to go, and it just wasn't fitting. And I realized something, it wasn't clicking in me, and I realized that if I continued to go down that path, I would just continue to become more stuck in what I did not want. And the second that I allowed myself to invest more in me and education about me and understanding more of my self-awareness, I started to realize that things started to click more and more and more, and all of a sudden the results seemed to follow. And I think that can be a very valuable lesson. The more you go all in on you, the more results seems to follow for you, not against you.
Had to go against the grain to do my own thing. Took a shot in the dark to make my own lane. I think that I'm better going my own way, so I didn't. Now I'm on my own, yeah, I'm on my way. Keep my head up till I find my place, yeah, I'm on my way. Every day I'm